Hello, good evening. Uh, Welcome to the week 3 of our system administration class. So far, we have been discussing about uh, what is system administration, then what are the roles and responsibilities of a system administrator. Then, in the past 2 weeks, Uh, we have set up a complete network infrastructure using Oracle Virtual Box. Then we learn about different operating systems, right? Then we get some idea about uh, Active Directory, how to create, how to do the user management, likewise. So today I'm going to discuss with you about Linux environment, Linux servers. If we look at the market share of the Linux server, we can see uh, Red Hat as the largest market share of 46%. So if you are trying to focus a career as a system administrator, you need to be familiar with both Windows servers and the about Linux servers, right? So you have to focus on Linux server administration, specifically about this Red Hat operating systems, right? Red Hat operating systems, right? So in the past 2 weeks, we learned about the Ubuntu operating systems, uh, Ubuntu operating system. But today we are going to learn about this Red Hat service, right? So, but um, Red Hat is a paid service, and we have to purchase those servers. But there is a free open source version of uh, Red Hat service that we call as CentOS. We call it as CentOS. So today we are going to do first install CentOS in a virtual machine. Go to your virtual books, Oracle virtual books, and create a new uh, virtual machine. So let's name it as CentOS. You can select a folder to save the files. So then let's assign the RAM as 4 GB. Let's look at 50 GB for the memory. Then click finish, right? Then let's start the CentOS operating system in this virtual machine, right? So uh, uh, let's make a shared report bidirectional. Then in the storage, let's select our CentOS ISO file. then you can start like a normal, like you are not installing normal operating system, right? You can select the language as English. Then here you can see there is a software selection, server with the GUI, or we can select the CLI mode, right? So first we install the server with GUI. So here you can select the installation destination. So and you can give a root password and can install begin installation. After the installation completed, you will get a GUI like this, right? But today, I'm not going to use this GUI. I want to use the CLI mode, right? So, um, so, so rather than selecting here, serve with GUI, I'm selecting minimal installation, minimal install with basic functionality. Then click done. Right? Then you can install. Right? Right. This is what we get. Right? Uh, CLI. Right? We only have the CLI. So from now on, I'm going to use this CLI. Uh, so what is shell scripting? What is scripting? So this is about this is about auto automation. Right? Now we are going to learn as system administrators how we can automate tasks, right? How we can automate tasks. A shell script is a file containing a sequence of commands that shell, like in Linux, bash, in Windows, PowerShell, can execute automatically. Think shell script as a mini program to automate tasks. Imagine this, like imagine you have a folder with uh, let's say logs. You have a folder with logs that need to uh, like uh, like that need to be moved to an archive directory daily, right? So there is a folder with log files. You need to move to an archive directory daily, right? So uh, so this is, let's say you need to do this every day, right? Right. For this kind of scenario, you can write a shell script. Write a You can write a shell script. In Windows, we have In Windows, we have PowerShell, PowerShell, Shell scripts, PowerShell scripts, and in Linux, we have dash bash scripts, right? In Windows, we have PowerShell scripts, and Linux, we have bash scripts. And I told you that think this is also as a, a script is as a mini program, mini program, program to automate repetitive tasks, right? So, um, like you may, so then how it is different from uh, a general purpose language, right? Like uh, how it's differ from the general purpose language. Instead of a full programming language like Python or Java, these scripting languages are interpreted by the shell, right? Unlike a full programming language, uh, these scripts are interpreted by the shell. So these are interpreted. That means these programs get executed line by line. And in Windows environments, we have the PowerShell. And in Linux environment, we have the Bash. So like every programming language, we here also we're going to learn about variables, variables, uh, conditional, conditional statements, loops, functions, and exceptions, right? So you in the shell script also we have these things, right? So let's see how we can write a shell script. So we will start from the PowerShell, like because most of us familiar with the Windows environment. So we will start learning from the PowerShell, right? Right, in the desktop, create a new folder. Just name it as PowerShell example. Then let's open this with the VS Code. Uh, right, and I will create a uh, script file. So this uh, PowerShell scripts has the extension of PS1, and in Linux shell scripts, bash in Linux bash scripts we have the extension of .sh. Right. First, I'm going to create a variable, and we know what is a variable. A variable is a container to hold values, right? Container to hold values, right? So I will create a variable. Hmm. we can create a variable with the dollar mark and the variable name. We can assign a value. So uh, like, there are two type of variables, right? In scripting, shell script, there are two type of variables, uh, system defined variables and user defined variables. Right? User defined variables are variables we create, and system defined variables are the predefined variables by the PowerShell. Right? They are available by default, right? So they are predefined variables. As an example, oh, right? This will give us the home directory. Uh, this will give us the path to the user's home directory. And we have another variable as $pwd. So this will give us the value to the working directory. Likewise, we have two variables, two type of variables. First one is uh, user defined, and the second one is system defined. I'm creating a variable as name. Let's assign the value as Alice. Then I want to print the value. So uh, I want to output the variable. So I can use write output the user is uh, name, right? And I can execute that this as a shell script, right? So here I am executing this with the VS Code's PowerShell. So you might get an error. So you need to grant permissions. So to do that, you can use this command. You can set execution policy remote sign. Click yes. Type yes. Then we will be able to execute. Right. So run the index.ps1 file, right? I'm get the output as Alice, right? So this is the variable. Then let's see how we can create a get a input, user input, read host. Then I can write the output as hello name, right? So let's run this. So I can enter my name. Then I can get the output. Like then we look about conditional statement, how we can use if else. Right. So what I want to do is I want to get the uh, uh, storage of my C drive and get information of the my C drive and uh, if it is like 90% fill, I want to show a message to the user. Otherwise, uh, show message as no. PS drive we call this as uh, commandlet, right? So these are uh, inbuilt commands of PowerShell, right? So by that we can get the details of the drive, right? In this case, used free and maximum space of the C drive, used and free space of the C drive, right? So then I want to calculate the percentage of the disk space used. So use percentage is equal to drive dot used divided by uh, drive dot maximum total uh, space, right? And then I want to round it to 100% with 2 digits. Right? So then I'm using a conditional statement. So I'm checking if used space is more than 90%. I want to say uh, this space is critical. Then otherwise, this space is okay, right? Uh, so right. So let's run this. Yeah, you can see my display is okay. Use percentage is 6.53%. So here, like we did in uh, uh, C sharp, I'm using a conditional statement, right? Right. Then let's see loops. What I want to do is I want to create a folder and inside that folder create some log files, right? Then uh, uh, I want to uh, uh, rename those files. Like let's say task1.log. I want to rename this as rename each file as backup task1 dot log, right? So here I have to iterate through each file and rename it. So I have to use a loop, right? In a new item type is a directory and the name is let's say text files. So this will create a file as text files, right? You can see a folder got created as text files. Then uh, let's create let's go to that file, and inside that folder, let's inside that folder I want to create some text files, right? So I'm setting location as text files folder, then creating a new item uh, as file1.txt, and the item type is a file, right? Right. Let's create another file, another two file, like file2 and file3. So by executing that, you can see I have created three files inside this folder, right? In this folder, right? Uh, right now I want to rename these files. So, so I can use a loop, get child name of each text, and for each object I want to rename item as uh, item's name as backup plus the name, right? You can see after I execute, the file names could change. Functions. So I'm creating a function as function clean logs. I want to delete these log files. So I can use the command remove item in the path of this. Let remove items in this path, right? So now I will call the function. After executing this file, this file, the files code deleted, right? Now let's see exceptions handling. So what I'm going to do is I want to create a file, file1.txt file, and copy it to a folder as text files, right? Right. Uh, if some error occurs, I want to catch the error, write the output as backup fail, right? I want to here what I want to do is I will create a file and create a copy a backup file uh, in the in this directory. Yeah. uh, when I execute uh, without any issue, a file get created in the text file folder. But when I change the directory, like the file path, uh, so this need to break. The directory name of volume label syntax is incorrect, right? So that's it, right? So these are the basics of uh, like variables, functions, conditional statements, loops, and exceptions, right? So using this, let's see how we can create a real world script. Real world script. Imagine you are the system administrator. You are the system administrator on the Windows server, Windows Server environment. Right? Every day at 10 p.m., uh, every day at 10 p.m., we need to take a backup from this folder, right? We need to take a backup of the files in this folder, c.logs, and move them to this folder. Let's say backup.logs file, and right, and we need to create a zip file and we need to create a zip file, right? So this is a routine task, right? So these logs can be a transaction files, right? So so these logs need to move to another directory. So every day you need to do this. So what you can do is write a shell script, right? In this case, a PowerShell script, right? And schedule a task. Schedule a task to run that particular script every day at 10 p.m. So let's see how we can do that. So I will go to my C drive and I will create a folder there. Let's name it as looks. Then I want to create another folder uh, as backups, right? So I want to, what I will do is files create, need to create a backup in this backup folder. So uh, let's open a script file, name it as backup log.ps1, right? Then first I will define the paths. So I will create a variable as log path. So this is the log files path, origin files path. Then I will create another variable as backup, right? So these are the this is the backup files path, backup folder path. Then I will try to copy files from the log path to the backup path. So I'm using a try catch exception handling, right? If any error occurs, I want to log the error, right? So uh, here I want to compress the files. No? So the, get the backup and compress it. So the compressed file name should be the should be today's name, right? Okay. So today date in the format of this. I will try to create a data directory inside that backup code. That means uh, there is a folder backup folder. Inside that, for today's uh, log files, there will be a file with today date. So I will create a new item and the type is a directory with the name of today date. Then, copy logs to that folder. Copy items in log path, all log files. Copy all log files in the log path. Let's say every day these uh, files in the log path get updated. It gets updated like every day. New files from this get created to this log path, and these original files get deleted every day. Right? That's amazing. So in this log path file, only the today files are there, right? So I can just copy all for the all files to the backup file. Again, log file එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ file එක හැමදාම log folder එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ folder එක හැමදාම update වෙනවා. ඒක ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ අද දවසේ වෙච්ච transaction කියලා හිතන්න. So in the file, in the folder, there are today's transactions, right? So we want to create a backup of those transactions, right? So in the backup folder, there will be a file with the particular date. right? So once every day the original files get deleted, right? So I'll copy uh, every file, every log file from the uh, uh, log path, and I will copy them to the uh, backup directory. I will copy them into the backup directory. So if any error occurs, I need to stop and go to the catch block, right? So then after I want to compress, right? So I can use command compress archive. In this part, I can delete the original file. So I can remove item in this folder, right? So let's go to the log file and create a create some log files, test log files. So I can use command echo test1.log and test2.log, right? So I have created two log files, right? Two log files, and in the backup directory, you can see we have created the uh, log file, right? So uh, right. So this is how we can create a backup using uh, uh, using shell script, right? Right. Uh, right. So that's about it in the PowerShell. So I started from the PowerShell because uh, we are mostly familiar with the shell, right? Uh, right. Now let's move to the Linux environment, right? So, so this is what we have done, right? Using PowerShell, uh, we have created uh, a, command, like a program to uh, backup files from this folder into a backup folder and compress them and delete the folders, right? Delete the keep only the zip file, right? Okay. Sadhuni, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you join this class now, right?
Yeah.
So do I need to explain the previous things?
No, sir, I can see a record.
Yeah. Okay. So go through the recording. So this is about PowerShell, right? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. uh, uh, let me share the screen. Okay. Right. Now I want you to do this with bash commands. I want you to do this with bash command. So what you can do is in as we did in our first class, we have already created Ubuntu virtual machine. So if not, you can create a VM, install Ubuntu there, and create this same activity. Do it with bash commands, right? Do it with bash command. Right. So so uh, so these are the commands, right? Like we did in PowerShell, you can create a variable, right? In PowerShell, we have the dollar mark, but here we don't, right? And we can get an input with echo, then if else, loops, functions, right? All the concept is the same, right? Only the syntaxes are different, right? So I did with PowerShell. You need to, I want you to do this with bash command. So install Ubuntu and try doing this activity, right? All right, right, uh, right. Now, let's move to the Linux environment, right? So we have installed the uh, CentOS operating system. CentOS operating system. CentOS is a, uh free version of Redhat. So when we learn about system administration, we need to be familiar with this Red Hat environment. So that's why we are using CentOS now, right? So now what we are going to do is we have our CentOS server now, right? CentOS server. Now we have it. Now I want to configure it as a database DB server, right? Now I want to configure it as a database server, right? In a database server, like in a database server, what we have? We have the, like, let's say, database management system. Let's say, uh, MariaDB, MariaDB, right? So we have already installed this CentOS operating system. So CentOS in a server. Now I want to configure it as a database server, right? Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Right. So before going to that, in this activity, uh, we had another thing to do, right? Every day at 10 p.m. you need to do this, right? Every day at 10 p.m. you need to do this. So what we can do, rather than manually running this log file, we can create a scheduler, right? So let's see how we can create a scheduler. So go to task scheduler. And create a basic task. Create a basic task, and let's name the task as log backup, and let's give a description as automate daily log backup at 10 p.m. Then you can click next, and let's I want to take the backups daily, and every day at 10 p.m. Right? Then you can click next. Then I want to select the particular script file. Right. So I have scheduled a task uh, to run this script file uh, every day at 10 p.m. So you can understand how we can automate tasks. The scripting is about so it's about automating, right? So that's what we discussed, right? Scripting is about uh, automating. So think about a script as a mini program, right? That get interpreted or uh, that get interpreted with if it's Windows, we have the PowerShell, and if it is Linux, we have the Bash. So in a shell, uh, shell commands also, shell program also, we have the basic things: variables, functions, loops, conditional statements, exception handling, right? So I hope you can now write shell scripts and bash scripts. Now let's move to the this. Uh, Now let's move to this, right? So we have the CentOS installed, and I want to configure it as a database server. So we have done three things, right? First week we installed Windows Server in a Windows Server and configure it as a web server, right? Where we can host web application. In the second week, we created the Windows Server and configure it as our active directory to control users, right? For the user management, right? Now I am creating a Linux server and configuring it as a database server. Open the virtual machine, right? Then first let start let's power up the virtual machine. Right. So it will getting power up. Right. Now I can log in as the I will log to this system as root. But here you need to think, right? That in actual scenario, can we directly access servers like this, right? In actual scenario, can we directly access servers like this? No, right? Because real world scenario, uh, we will our service will be in a separate location, right? These are our servers, right? And we are in a separate location as system admins. We are in the separate location. These servers will be in our server room, or let's say in a server room, or let's say these are big rack servers, right? So these will be in a separate geo location, and we are in a separate location, right? We are in a separate location. So can we directly access servers like this? No, right? So we can't directly access servers like this. Therefore, we need to we need to remotely access servers. We need to remotely access servers. To do that, we use SSH. We use SSH, right? SSH stand for secure shell. Secure shell. So SSH is a network protocol that allows us to securely connect uh, from one computer to another over a network. So to remotely access, we use SSH, right? We use SSH. SSH stands for Secure Shell. It's a network protocol that allows us to uh, connect from one computer to another, right? So in a SSH, we have a client and a server. In this case, our server is the CentOS virtual machine, and let's say our client is the host machine, right? This computer, and using SSH protocol, we can communicate, right? So let's see first how we can, rather than like directly accessing the server. So in this case, I have directly access the server, right? So in the actual real world scenario, I can't, right? So in this case, I have directly access the server. So, but in a real world scenario, I can't directly access the server like this, right? So how do I, let's see, how can I remotely access the server, right? Right. Uh, so to do that, uh, I will assign an IP address to this server, right? IP address. So you know, using IP addresses is by the devices communicate, right? So first thing is I will assign an IP address to this server, right? So I will log in root and uh, view my password, right? Okay. Now uh, I will access the network uh, manager. The command is sudo nmtui, sudo nmtui. By that I can access the network manager. Then go to sudo nmtui. Then go to edit connection and I can assign an IP address to this server. So I will assign something like 192.168.130.20, right? Assign some IP address. And then need to install. So let's check whether IP address got changed. So first I will store, right? Right. So that will like what you say, that will refresh the network manager, right? Since we have changed the IP address, we need to refresh it, right? So then let's check whether the IP address got changed. IPA, you can see now the IP got changed. Now the IP is 192.168.130.20, right? So first thing what I did, I have assigned an IP address to this server, right? Then I need to install SSH here. So to do that, I'm using sudo yum. Yum is the package manager. Like in Ubuntu, we had snap. Here in the Red Hat environment, we have the yum. So sudo yum install. මේක හරියට නිකන් අපි උදාහරණයක් විදියට අපි නිකන් software එක install කරනවා වගේ හරිද? අපි දැනුම අපිට game එකක් play කරන්න නම් අපිට ඒ game එකේ අදාළ setup files ටික install කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේ the problem we had was we can't access servers directly. So to do that, we need to get the remote access. Remote access we get by SSH. So therefore, we need to install SSH in the server. හරිනේ? ඒක සරලයි. හරිද? Right. So sudo yum install open SSH open SSH hyphen server. Right. So this will install these things. Open SSH client, open SSH server. Sometimes you will get problem installing these things. To install this, you need to have the internet access, right? You need to have the internet access. So therefore, in your network manager of your VM settings, you have to set it as NAT, right? Then you will then the VM will be able to access internet. So the files will get downloaded and installed. Right, downloaded, completed. And successfully the SSH got installed. Right, now let's check from this computer, can we access that IP? Right, from this host computer or the Windows 10. I have the Windows 10 now. From this Windows 10 machine, can I access that CentOS server? So how can I check that? Using the ping command, right? Using ping. So I'm open the command prompt, run it as administrator, run it as administrator. Let's say, can we ping this IP address? Ping means we can, if we can ping, that means we can communicate with that server. So the IP is 192.168.130.20. So okay, it's pinging but ringing time, request time out. So that means we can't communicate. මේ ping කරනවා කියලා මොකක්ද මම කරන්නේ මෙතන? මම අර network වල අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න packets ටිකක් යවලා බලනවා අදාළ particular server එකට, මේකට එයාට receive වෙනවද communication කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. හරිද? එතන pinging කියන්නේ මගේ Windows 10 machine එක try කරනවා packets ටික යවන්න, but packets get lost, right? Request time out, request time out, request time out, right? Let's say the stats packets, 4 packets have been sent and received 0. That means I am unable to communicate with the server. So let's see why. So the problem, or can you imagine what's the problem? Why the problem occurs? Problem occurs with my IP addressing. මම assign කරපු IP address එකේ තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ. So the let's check. So to communicate, both IP addresses need to be in the same range, right? They need to be in the same range. So the error here is my host machine or the Windows 10 is in a different IP range, and I have assigned for the server, I have assigned 192.168.130 range. So there is a mismatch. So therefore, it's unable to connect. So, so let's check what's my local machines IP range is. So open the run command ncpa dot cpl. So you don't need to memorize these commands. You can use ChatGPT or internet, Stack Overflow can use, right? But get the idea of what we are doing, right? Don't need to memorize commands. You can get command, right? So here I have two Ethernet connections. This Ethernet ProLink V1 F2 uh, is my router, right? It's my router. So that is being used to communicate with the internet, and Ethernet 5 is the virtual host only Ethernet. So that's uh, the uh, connection, right? The network connection between the virtual machine and this host machine, right? So go to properties and check the uh, IP range of this machine, Windows 10 machine, right? Go to properties and go to IPv4. Go to properties, right? You can see the IP is in 192.168.56 range, but I have assigned an IP to the server as 192.168.130 range. So because of that range mismatch, these two devices are unable to communicate. So let's go to our server and change the IP address again. Right? Open the network manager and go to edit. And change this IP 192.168. Let's make it 56.20. Now both these two devices are in the same range, so should be able to communicate. Okay, let's refresh the network manager and let's check the IP address. IP. Okay, now the IP got changed. Right, you can see now IP got changed. Now let's open a command prompt and check whether can we communicate with that server. So ping 192.168.156.20. It's pinging, right? Okay. Uh, here you need to change this to host host only adapter and host only adapter. Then uh, there are three things you can see: NAT, then breached, and host only. That means NAT means the virtual device, this in this virtual machine is able to directly communicate with the internet, right? Directly communicate with the internet. Now the breached. Breached means the existing network will assign an IP address to the virtual machine, and it will act as part of that particular network, right? NAT කිව්වහම එයාට පුළුවන් directly internet එකට access කරන්න. Breach to node. Breach means it will act as a part of the network, right? So this computer is in a Wi-Fi network, and the virtual machine will also act as a part of that network, right? If it is host only, means only the host can communicate with the internet, and the VM can only communicate with the host machine, right? Right. So let's check whether we can communicate with the virtual machine. That means our CentOS server. Ping 192.168.56.20. Now it's pinging and able to communicate, right? So that means packets send 4 packets send and receive 4 packets. Right. Right. Now let's check whether can we access this server from this from this computer, Windows 10 computer, right? So you can use the command ssh root at IP address. Right. Are you sure you want to connect? Yes. And I need to give the password. Right. Now I'm able to access. Right. Now I'm able to access. So that means I'm able to remotely access the server. So now it doesn't matter whether it's in a different location. I can remotely access. So in actual real world scenario, we sometimes we are not directly using the terminal. We can use clients, right? We can use client applications. We have PuTTY, and we have another software as MobaXterm. So they will give us a nice UI to communicate with the service. So MobaXterm is one such software. You can download it from this site freely. Can download software, and you can install it, right? So right, so this is the software look like. So we can create a new session with the server. So I'm going new session, and I want to get a SSH and just need to give the IP address of the remote host. And the username as root, and can click OK. And accept password. And give a password, right? Then you can access the server, right? So now it doesn't matter whether where the server is in, we can remotely access the server, right? So this is about how we can remotely access servers. Now what I want to do is I want to configure this server as a database server. Close this. Right, I will open the VM again. So now in this case, I don't want to fully start the server. So I'm imagining this server is in somewhere else. I can't physically access this server. So I'm giving this a headless start. Headless start means only the services will be running. We will not get the UI or the CLI, right? Only the services will be running, right? Okay, the VM is now getting power up. You can see it's running in the background, right? It's like it's in a different physical location. We can't directly access this. And now I will try to get a remote access to this server from my Windows 10 machine. From Windows 10 machine, now I am trying to access the CentOS server, Linux server. Now I will say the SSH root at 192.168.26.20. That was the IP address. Okay. Give the root password. Okay, I was able to access the server. Now, to configure this as a database server, what I need to do is first I need to update the packages in the server and install a database management system. So the default or the recommended database management system for the Linux-based Red Hat or these CentOS servers is MariaDB. MariaDB. Like you know about MySQL and what did you say? Microsoft SQL Server Manager. Likewise, Oracle databases. There are different database management systems. Here, in this case, we will install, imagine Microsoft SQL, right? අපි Microsoft SQL install කරනවා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ. Right. Right. So before installing uh, the package, I need to first update the existing packages in the in this particular server. So sudo dns update y. Okay, now I got an error. Error says error during downloading metadata. That means this computer, the server, is trying to download some things from the internet, but now it's unable to download the packages. So why this happens? Because we change our network settings to host to local, right? Host to local. Now this VM can't access internet. So what's the solution? The solution can be uh, we can assign another network adapter, one with this particular IP, and we can assign another network adapter to access internet. So that settings will be NAT, right? That setting will be NAT, and from this adapter, there will be two adapters, network adapters. One in one adapter, the IP will be this. So the host machine and the others will use to remotely access the server using that IP, and the server will have another network adapter with a different IP to access internet, right? Okay, so to do that, first we need to power up our CentOS server again, and I will add another Ethernet. So first I will make this as automatic and remove the assigned IP, and I will add another Ethernet. Right now I will assign the IP, the previous IP, to this connection. Okay. So now we have two network ports for this server. Restart the network again. The network settings and change the second adapter to host only and first adapter to NAT. So there will be two network adapters. So from one, our host will communicate from one. The server will be able to communicate with the internet, right? So let's see and enable these two network adapters. Go to devices and enable both adapters. Right. Now this will be able to communicate with the internet. So let's again take a ping to this uh, server IP. Right? Okay, it's successfully getting pinged. That means able to communicate. Right? Hmm. So let's get a remote access. Uh, so SSH root to this particular IP. Okay. Sorry, 192.168.56.20. Okay, give password, and I'm able to log into the server, right? Our problem was the server was not able to communicate with the internet. So let's make a ping to a particular website. Let's say Google. Let's make a ping to the Google site, and let's check whether can we communicate. So I'm making a ping to google.com. So it's getting ping. That means now the server is able to communicate with the internet. So now we should be able to update the packages, right? Update the packages and install Microsoft SQL, so SQL to make this a database server. Okay. Right. Now let's update the packages. Sudo dnf update. Yes, update by, and it will update. This will update. So it will take some time and get updated. So update completed. Now I will install the database management system. Sudo dnf install MariaDB. MariaDB server. So it got installed successful, right? Now I will start the database server. So sudo system control start MariaDB system ctl start MariaDB. So give the root password. Okay, database server started. Enable start and enable it. Right? Okay. Uh, Now let's check whether MariaDB is running. Sudo status MariaDB. Okay. Sudo system control status MariaDB. It's running successfully. You can see it's running. Now let's create a database by logging into the database management system. So, like you did in your application developments, you can just log into the MySQL server. Like MySQL root p, then you can log into the MySQL server, and let's write a SQL query. Create database. Sorry. Uh, uh, Create database. Say employee management system. So this was what we created in our web application development application, right? So show databases. You can see database is created, right? So that's it. So we have successfully configured uh, our server uh, to a database server, right? So we have configured it as a database server. I want you to do these things. So this is what we did. Assign an IP address and installed my database management system and configure it as a database server, right? Right. Now, last week we learned about Active Directory. Active Directory is for centralized user control. So now I want you to go through the internet and check and understand how we can create a how we can create a LDAP, or let's say uh, a user management system or a directory service with this uh, Linux environment. We call as LDAP. LDAP means lightweight directory access protocol. So you can install open LDAP in your center in your server and configure it as a domain controller, right? So that's what I want you to do.